Deep in the mountains, behind a storm that never seems to break, stand the ruins of a martial academy the world has long since forgotten. Once, this was the home of the Sichuan Tang Clan, a family feared across all of Murim as the undisputed masters of poison. Now, only rubble and rain remain. On this drowned night, a voice calls out at the broken gates. "Excuse me, is anyone there?" Travelers, desperate to escape the storm. 3 wandering martial artists, soaked to the bone, have stumbled onto the abandoned estate, praying that someone might still offer them a roof. "To think someone actually lives in this shut-down academy," their leader mutters, squinting into the dark. And someone does. A single boy steps out of the rain to meet them, far too calm for a child alone in a ruin at night. Who are these people, the boy wonders, watching the soaked strangers from the shadows. They don't seem like bad people, he decides, after sizing them up in silence. I also settled into this closed academy myself, just a few years ago, he tells them, playing along. The leader gathers his men. Since you've all heard the young warrior, let's move. And they make camp, careful to avoid his pavilion. Still, the boy keeps a wary eye on them. I wonder what kind of people they really are, he thinks. Then he slips away to a warm hearth deep in his quarters. It's dinner time for the kids, he murmurs to himself. Guys, he calls softly into the dark. It's time to eat. These are his children. A black earth tiger, a tarantula as large as a man's hand. Eat up, Black, he murmurs, feeding the kind of creatures most people would run screaming from. A bewangling cave gecko. A whole nest of venomous things, each one named, each one his. I really live for the fun of watching you guys, he admits. And there is a reason this boy adores the deadliest creatures alive. Because before he ever came into this body, he was a streamer. In another world, he was famous. A professional biologist and broadcaster his fans knew as Spicy Frame. His content was simple and lethal. Poisonous insects. Venomous animals. The most dangerous creatures on Earth, handled live, on camera. It was the live broadcast he held to celebrate reaching 1 million subscribers. And among all of his creatures, the black mamba would become the death of him. The snake he had been hunting was curled up on top of the refrigerator the whole time. He never saw it move. I was bitten in an instant, he remembers. And in front of millions of viewers, his old life came to an end. He died. When he opened his eyes again, he was here. Reborn as a forgotten boy in the brutal martial world of Murim, carrying every last thing he had ever learned. Young warrior, are you there? The traveler's voices pull him back into the present, thanking him once more for the shelter. They have caught a deer, and they ask if he would like to have dinner together. All this time, the only meat I could eat was snakes and lizards, he thinks, and gladly accepts. Over the shared meal, the travelers grow curious about the strange boy living all alone in these ruins. He leans into his cover story. After hitting my head as a child, I don't remember much, he lies. I just catch snakes and sell them to make a living. But these travelers did not climb into this storm by chance. They came to the mountain hunting something, and their search is about to drag this hidden poison master out of the shadows. That night, the boy turns the traveler's problem over in his mind, the biology of 1,000 venomous creatures laid out before him. These are no ordinary wanderers, either. They are seasoned martial artists of a powerful clan. What? Really? Their eyes go wide as the boy begins naming details about the very creature they have been hunting. We focused our search on the riverside, to the north, their leader explains. But the boy presses them for more. With a creature like this, every detail matters. Because it is cold-blooded, he tells them, it needs shelter to regulate its temperature and humidity. And it cannot survive long without water. That alone narrows the hunt dramatically. The elders can only listen, stunned that a boy from a ruin knows more about their quarry than they do. For this blue-spotted centipede is no common bug. Its inner core is a medicine beyond any price. It is the one thing left that might save the dying prodigy of their clan. So through the rain-soaked dark, they comb the mountain for any trace of it. Lantern light sweeps across the black forest, but the creature is nowhere to be found. Hour after hour, the search turns up nothing but rain and shadow. The warriors grow weary, their hope thinning with the storm. Still, the boy's clues keep them moving, certain the creature is close. He has staked everything on the land itself, the water, the cold, the hidden shelter. Then word spreads through the camp. The grand patriarch of the clan has returned. Did you fail too? The old master asks, his face heavy with worry. Father, one of them offers, how about we search the south tomorrow? But the boy's eyes sharpen. Something about this hunt is pulling at him, refusing to let go. Then, deep in the wilds, a discovery. This was the right place after all, one of them breathes. They press into a misted ravine where the air itself feels wrong. Hot air, animal droppings, the elder mutters, reading the signs. Something large lies here. Wait, one of them whispers, staring into the dark. It was right here. The blue-spotted centipede is definitely here, the elder declares, certain at last. And then the dark answers. Something enormous begins to stir in the black. The warriors freeze, weapons half-drawn, the breath caught in their throats. Whatever they came hunting, it has found them first. An explosion of motion tears through the trees, throwing fire and earth into the air. Look! One of them cries, staggering back in raw terror. Even the hardened old master can only stare, frozen where he stands. Because the blue-spotted centipede is no insect at all. It has grown into a towering monster. A nightmare of armored legs and dripping venom, uncoiling over them in the dark. And where the warriors see only death, the boy's eyes light up with something else entirely. In the aftermath, the storm still broods over the cliffs of the ruined estate. What are you talking about? The elders murmur, still struggling to process the night. Even the clan's strange creatures seem to sense that something has changed. The boy muses, turning a sealed jar over in his hands. His mind, as always, drifts back to his beloved venomous companions. Out in the Black Forest, the worst of the danger has finally passed. Fires burn low where the great battle was fought and won. This isn't the time to be like this, one of them says, steadying the others. Can you give me some space, please? The boy asks, a faint green haze curling from his hands. A figure approaches through the smoke, robes heavy with rain. The newcomer murmurs, studying the boy with sharp interest. Even a seasoned warrior flinches at the toxins this child handles so casually. But amid all the ruin, the clan has gained something truly precious. From the fallen centipede, a clutch of rare eggs, each marked with that telltale blue. We've never found a way to breed eggs like these, an elder breathes, awed by the prize. What happened to your arm? One of them asks the boy. Did you get hurt? For the night had not passed without its terrors. Violence had erupted in the dark, sudden, and brutal. Even the strong had been left coughing, bleeding, brought to their knees. Who would have thought the son of the famed poison clan would end up injured and alone like this? A cruel voice had sneered. That young warrior has nothing to do with us, someone had begged. Please, let him go. Die. The attacker had snarled, showing no mercy at all. A nightmare of fangs and glowing eyes had lunged out of the dark. Its roar had shaken the very stones of the broken estate. And the boy can only stare, the pieces of his own grim story falling into place. Yet through all of it, the Tang have made their decision. This boy must become a member of our clan. Dawn settles over the Tang estate, peaceful for the first time in days. The boy sits with the recovering elder, Tak Eun, who studies him with quiet wonder. It's because I'm a kind of martial artist, the boy explains, in my own particular way. Otherwise, a centipede as big as a house simply doesn't make sense, he reasons aloud. He cradles one of the survivors of the brood, a tiny blue-marked centipede. And he explains its nature to the astonished elders, detail by careful detail. Word of the strange boy travels quickly through the halls of the clan. Ah, just a minute, elder, he says, turning back to his work. It's yellow striped along its body and legs, he notes, with telltale markings on its tail. He demonstrates, and the venom answers his touch like an old friend. You're serious, the patriarch breathes, half in disbelief. Even the clan's hardened guardians are unnerved by how easily he commands such poisons. And then they speak of the one they fought to save, Hwaeun, one of the famed 3 flowers of the Central Plains. The 10 great poisonous creatures of the Central Plains, the boy asks eagerly. Are they as amazing as the blue-spotted centipede? Whatever you're imagining, he tells them with a grin, they are far beyond that. His enthusiasm fills the somber estate with unexpected light. He grinds his medicines with impossible skill. How, one of them stammers, is this even possible? This young warrior is the one who truly felled the beast, an elder admits. Not me. Young warrior, the patriarch says, his voice heavy with newfound respect. The boy blinks, caught off guard by their sudden reverence. Well then, he begins, only to be interrupted by something he did not expect. For a shadow still hangs over the clan, the blood-handed killers who hunt the Tang. The patriarch's face darkens as he speaks of the dangers still circling them. And the boy listens closely, filing every thread away in his mind. But for now, an offer is made, and gasps of delight ripple through the room. I'll stay, the boy decides. After all, right now, I have nowhere else to go. Soon, the boy sets out with a clan party on a mission into the wider world. Please have a safe trip. The people call, waving the travelers off. It's definitely strange, the boy murmurs, something about their destination already nagging at him. Not really, he hedges, though the unease refuses to leave him. Word will reach Tak Eun and the Tang clan soon enough, he reasons. You're incredible, his companion laughs, struggling to keep pace with the boy's mind. On they travel, deep into rough and unfamiliar country. Yes, patriarch, he had promised before leaving, and he means to keep his word. The road grows darker, the village is quieter, the further they go. The boy stops, catching the scent of something deeply wrong. What's wrong with these people? One of them asks, thoroughly unsettled. Go back. A frightened voice cries from the shadows. There is nothing for you here. The locals eye the strangers with a mix of fear and desperate suspicion. Medical arts? Someone gasps. You truly know the medical arts of the Central Plains? Children are dying, and even the healthy are suffering, a desperate elder pleads. Some unseen affliction has fallen over this entire place. Of course, the boy says, raising a hand wreathed in faint poison. We can't turn away from people in trouble. He surveys the stricken village in the cold light of day. Thank you, an old man weeps, falling to his knees. You are our one and only hope. Ah, so that's it, the boy breathes, the cause suddenly clear to him. What exactly are the symptoms, he asks, piecing the puzzle together fact by fact. He must have been worn out from helping, one says. I just left him to rest in his room. But the boy is already deep in thought, hunting for the true culprit behind it all. And when he finds his answer, he acts without hesitation, poison flaring at his fingertips. What's with him all of a sudden? They gasp, watching the boy heal in ways no ordinary doctor ever would. Deep in the heart of the stricken village, the boy hunts for the true source of the sickness. What's wrong with me? A victim gasps, racked by a pain with no obvious cause. I think I've found something, the boy says, narrowing his eyes. And then it clicks. His gaze snaps to a detail no one else even noticed. What? The others stammer, unable to follow his leap of logic. They're so sneaky, he explains, holding up the culprit, that they drink blood more quietly than a mosquito. The villagers listen, hope flickering back to life in their tired faces. He turns the tiny parasite over, reading its secrets at a single glance. These are bugs deliberately bred by wicked men, the boy realizes, his face hardening. Someone has loosed this plague upon these people on purpose. Whatever twisted craft created these things, it is cruel beyond words. But the cure is well within his reach. What a fancy name, he jokes, for a simple antiparasitic drug. And so, one careful step at a time, he sets the entire village right. Seeing their bright, cheerful faces again, the old rumors of these people's warmth prove true. And the reputation of the clan, and of the boy, climbs higher still. But his restless curiosity is already pulling him onward, back into the dark. And a strange story came to my ears, he recalls, of creatures that should not exist. I found them, he breathes, the venom rising at his fingertips. He reaches for a creature most men would flee from on sight, examining it with the tenderness of a collector reunited with a long-lost prize. Death clings to these things, but to him, death has always been an old companion. Wait, he murmurs. I cannot truly be poisoned through mere smoke, can I? For here lurks something rarer still, a venomous thing borne upon delicate wings. A poison given flight, beautiful and utterly deadly. Ha! They're melting? He wonders, watching the swarm come apart before his very eyes. And in that strange, dissolving glow, a brand new mystery begins to take shape. Back among the elders, the boy lays out what he has found, and the whole room goes still. This is called a Zhen, he says, or a Zhenniao. The king of the 10 great venomous creatures, an elder gasps. No way! This is insane. Is it common? Someone asks. Not at all, the boy replies. You could live your whole life and never lay eyes on a Zhenniao. Even the seasoned masters are shaken by what this boy has so casually uncovered. Only with our clan's martial arts, the elder reminds them, can one stand against the poisons of the entire world. Even the fearless boy flinches as the deadly creature flutters too close. Even a trace of the Zhenniao's blood, he notes, would be a treasure beyond measure. This was hidden inside the cave, one of them says, holding out their find. Now that we've secured the blue-spotted centipede's core, and the clan's secret manual, our work here is nearly done. There's something I've been meaning to tell you, an elder begins, his tone turning serious. Out in the open fields, the expedition finally turns toward home. Well, we can't stay out here forever, can we? The boy says with an easy smile. With you helping us, the others tell him, let's hurry back and set everything right. Along the way, new faces fall in beside them, drawn by the boy's growing legend. That was a setup, someone mutters, hinting at darker forces still at play. For not every danger has passed. A sudden cry of pain splits the air. And amid it all, a striking young woman watches the boy with quiet curiosity. There may yet be a way, an elder insists, refusing to give up hope. You're the strange boy the patriarch keeps talking about, a warrior laughs, clapping him on the shoulder. At last, the gates of the estate come into view. Welcome back, patriarch. The patriarch has returned. He strides through the courtyard, his heart pounding with desperate hope. Hwaeun! He cries, his voice breaking. You're alive! For the centipede's core has done the impossible, and pulled his dying daughter back from death's door. Ah, that's right, someone breathes, the flower of the clan, restored to them at last. And the boy can only smile, knowing his impossible knowledge made all of it possible. And the girl they saved, Hwaeun, is a legend in her own right. The elders speak of her in hushed, worried tones. She had always wanted to prove she could do as much for the family as any man. But that very impatience, they say, brought about a heart demon within her. It was a wound of the spirit, quietly eating away at the brilliant young talent. How long will you keep pushing yourself like this? They had warned her, again and again. And her relentless ambition had very nearly cost the clan its brightest flower. Damn it, the patriarch curses himself. To think I repaid my own daughter with such impatient, hurtful words. But now, healed and whole, Hwaeun turns to the boy who saved her. Nice to meet you, she says warmly. What do you make of him? The elders murmur, watching the two of them. Beyond the walls, the world stretches wide and full of new possibility. The boy, as ever, keeps half his mind on his beloved poisons. But Hwaeun simply cannot let things lie. She means to repay her debt, and to silence everyone who ever doubted her. Her father worries, but he knows that stubborn fire in her all too well. And so the saved flower and the strange boy find their paths winding together. Son-in-law? Someone teases, and the boy nearly chokes on the word. I want to be more useful to my family, she confides, her eyes burning with quiet resolve. I'll check it out myself, she declares, refusing to be left behind again. She sets out, every step a silent challenge to those who count her out. If I stop here, she thinks, the elders will never truly acknowledge me. Young warrior! She calls, sweeping the startled boy along with her. And the boy, despite himself, is happier than he would ever care to admit. I'm so glad I came here this time, Hwaeun says, with a genuine smile. So it's not, the boy begins, just as fate sweeps them both toward whatever comes next. Days pass in unexpected peace at the Tang estate. It's been a while since I laughed like this, Hwaeun admits, surprising even herself. The once dying flower now moves through the halls with renewed life. I've lived a long time, an elder marvels, but I never knew a boy like this could exist. Feel free to confirm whatever it is you need to, they tell him, granting him free rein. And so the boy and the young mistress set out to investigate together. His poisons answer his call as readily as ever. Side by side, the two of them comb the estate for answers. For Soryeon, as the clan now calls him, this is a deadly serious matter. Hwaeun follows close behind, watching the strange boy with growing fascination. I'm deeply grateful for your kindness, the boy says, ever the polite guest. But Hwaeun has questions of her own that simply will not wait. They're all girls? Someone exclaims, as a surprising detail comes to light. While caring for me, she asks, are these all the youngest of the brood? I ended up involved in the death of the blue-spotted centipede, the boy reflects, so its children are my responsibility now. Take care of the little ones until they're fully grown, he says, and a strange new family begins to form. Wait a minute, the boy realizes. Since Miss Hwaeun consumed the entire core, doesn't that mean the young will need to stay close to her? Hwaeun blinks as the tiny creatures gravitate to her, drawn by the power now in her blood. An invisible bond, written in venom, now ties them to her. I have a feeling, the boy muses, this is going to be very interesting. I see, Hwaeun says slowly, beginning to grasp the strange gift she's been given. The proud young mistress and the odd little poison genius, an unlikely pair indeed. The boy says nothing, but a small smile tugs at the corner of his mouth. Together, they settle into the quiet work of raising a clutch of deadly little ones. It's time, Hwaeun decides, to see exactly what kind of martial arts this brat is hiding. And with that, her sharp eyes fix on the boy, determined to uncover his secrets. Life at the estate settles into something almost domestic, centered on a clutch of tiny centipedes. I don't. The boy protests, caught up in yet another misunderstanding. Hwaeun huffs, her cheeks coloring despite herself. I think I'll be convinced, an elder chuckles, watching the two of them bicker. Lady Hwaeun. A servant gasps, scandalized by the young mistress's behavior. You don't have to worry, the boy says. Just think of it like this. And then the tiny creatures chirp it out. Dad? Mom? The little family is complete, whether the two of them like it or not. It would be better, the scheming elders whisper, for the two of them to naturally develop feelings for each other. Ma, that's true, another agrees with a sly grin. Indeed it would. What brings you here at this hour? The patriarch asks, when a late visitor arrives. I came because I have something to say, Hwaeun begins, uncharacteristically nervous. Oh? Her father raises an eyebrow, deeply intrigued. Did this happen so suddenly? He teases. I thought he wasn't to your liking before. Tell me more, he says, a knowing smile spreading across his face. Good heavens, an elder laughs. Where else would you ever find a suitor quite like him? I should be able to help you, Hwaeun offers the boy, determined to repay her debt. Truly impressive, benefactor. The others cheer, only making the boy more flustered. Benefactor, how exactly can I help? She asks. The boy stammers, going red. He says awkwardly, I'd need to take a look at your body. Wait a second, he yelps. Do you really have to take it off? Hwaeun freezes, scarlet to the very tips of her ears. But there's nothing improper here, only the strange centipede bun to examine. Oh wow, you're real, the boy breathes, marveling at one of the grown creatures. You're really huge. So here, let me just touch your hand once, he says. What? She squawks. Their strange new life together, it turns out, is anything but ordinary. The clan's elders are in fine spirits, fussing over the boy like a treasured grandchild. Ha ha ha. With Hwaeun's match decided, they cheer, nothing but prosperity awaits our Tang clan. The boy nearly chokes, only now realizing exactly what they've arranged for him. I can guarantee, an elder grins, it's something you will absolutely love. And despite all his protests, he can't help being intrigued. Good heavens, he breathes, when he finally sees what they have in store for him. For the Tang clan is about to share with him their most closely guarded secret. Down, deep beneath the estate, behind doors sealed for generations. Open the gates, he says, barely able to contain his excitement. Please, go ahead, the keeper says, and bows him through. This is the treasure trove, the boy marvels, where the Tang clan of Sichuan stores every poison it has ever gathered. Carefully categorized, he reads, paralysis poisons, sleep poisons, and so very many more. To anyone else, it would be a chamber of pure nightmares. A beast? A ghost? He gasps at one specimen. It looks almost like a toad bean. Isn't that ricin? He whispers, recognizing one of the deadliest poisons known to man. Hwaeun watches him drift from shelf to shelf, lost in pure delight. Ho, that's enough for now, an elder finally chuckles, prying him away. That young man, they murmur, his sheer enthusiasm is something to behold. But there are, an elder says gravely, two issues we must discuss. It concerns the Hall of the Thousand Poisons, and what to do with the boy himself. And so the clan gathers in solemn council. What did you just say? One demands. An orphan, with completely unknown origins? He saved my life, another counters. We owe this boy everything. Sorry to interrupt your conversation, the boy cuts in, but I couldn't help overhearing. What? Their heads snap toward him, caught completely off guard. For there are forces beyond these walls who have already decided they won't just let the Tang clan be. The question of the boy's place in the clan still lingers in the air. I may look like a warrior, the boy reflects, but my path has always run closer to medicine. Then, as far as I'm concerned, he says, I'm still only a guest here. I'd rather not impose, he adds, ever modest about his own worth. But the elders won't hear of it. We could never thank you enough, they insist. Sorry, an elder says, take a look at this, and lays a proposal before him. For there is a way to make the boy one of their own, in name as well as in deed. That's because he hasn't fully become part of the family yet, right? Someone notes. To prove that I am truly worthy of being a Tang warrior, the boy decides, I will do this. But doesn't the Sichuan Tang clan deal only in poisons? Someone wonders aloud. But poison also has the power to heal, an elder reminds them. And the boy understands that truth better than anyone alive. To join us, they tell him, you must show superb knowledge and true mastery of poisons. Then the clan's warriors put their own deadly arts on display. Even the boy is struck by the lethal grace of the Tang. These are the masters whose ranks he now hopes to join. Are you saying I have to memorize this entire list of poisons? He asks. Of course, comes the reply. Shelf upon shelf of toxins, enough to make any ordinary student despair. Is that all? He says brightly. I've already learned nearly every single one of these. The examiners can only stare as their grueling test becomes child's play to him. But a far greater matter looms. A serious trouble has befallen the city lord of Sichuan himself. Somewhere out in the wilds, a poison no one can name is quietly spreading. And so the boy and Hwaeun set out once more, into the green and the gloom, hunting the source of a threat that has stumped even the great clans. Gotcha, you little thing, the boy murmurs, plucking a vital clue from the undergrowth. Will this finally solve the Sichuan city lord's trouble? Hwaeun wonders, watching him work. Deep in the green, the boy finds something this rare only once in a lifetime. Is it normal, someone asks, for a poison to look so much like a harmless herb? Anywhere will do, he murmurs,
gathering ingredients only he could ever recognize.
And then, a discovery that makes even him gasp.
No way!
A creature of golden legs and shimmering wings, rarer than almost any other. The golden-legged queen bee, he explains, carries a toxin that raises blisters that burn at the slightest touch. Let's just wait a little longer, he says, his eyes fixed on the king of all bees. I'll listen carefully, he tells Hwaeun. This one we must handle with the greatest care.
Back at the estate, the elders puzzle over the boy yet again. Does that even make sense?
Later that night, beneath a quiet moon.
Yeah, and old master chuckles, stroking his beard. Now isn't that something? Hwaeun sits among them, defending the strange boy at every turn. What an amazing kid he is!
They marvel, won over despite themselves. Yet not all of them are so easily convinced.
There's a simple explanation here that I just can't see, one of them mutters. What if someone of unknown origins, another frets, were to wed the daughter of our house?
We can allow him this much for now, they decide, and see what he becomes. But far from the warm halls, other eyes have been watching the Tang. A figure wreathed in venom and malice, who means the clan nothing but harm. His poison answers his cruelty, dark and endlessly patient. See for yourself, he sneers, what becomes of those who dare cross us? For on a day not long ago, blood was spilled within these very halls. And a little while later, that threat draws closer to the Tang than anyone realizes. Something has happened, Hwaeun says suddenly, a chill running through her. Our children are acting strangely, she frets, as the little centipedes grow restless.
Why do you have kids?
A startled visitor blurts,
and the boy can only laugh. Back among the elders, plans are made for the boy's next great undertaking.
Hwaeun, of course, insists on coming along with him. A moment later, the boy is already lost in his work, poison curling at his fingertips. Lady Hwaeun, he reassures her with a grin, I don't think there's any reason to worry.
She isn't entirely
convinced, but she trusts him all the same. He coaxes the rare creature gently, careful not to waste a single drop. I'll draw out its essential energy, he murmurs, with the patience of a true craftsman. And his little centipede brood watches over the whole strange operation. The two of them work side by side, more at ease together with every passing day.
Hwaeun's eyes go wide as the boy reveals yet another impossible detail.
A full day later, he notes, the spotted centipedes return to cling to my body once again. Even his jokes land flat, but the strange little family only grows closer. Together, they make their way home through the quiet countryside. And the elders, watching from afar, can only shake their heads in wonder.
Oh, is that so?
Hwaeun teases, and for once the boy has no clever answer. If I just call it a reward, an elder chuckles, you'd probably refuse it out of modesty, wouldn't you?
Best idea ever.
The boy beams, cradling one of his precious specimens. New companions drift into his ever-stranger little world. But what I really need, he says innocently, is your child, Miss Hwaeun, sending her scarlet. He gets back to work, venom and wonder dancing at his fingertips. I suppose we can allow it, an elder relents, charmed against his own better judgment. And with the clan's blessing, the boy sets off once more. And so, the boy notes wryly, the spirit-ravaging journey began. What was meant to be a simple errand quickly spirals into something far larger.
So they went around selling the information everywhere.
He groans, as word of his find spreads.
My peaceful honey harvesting trip, he sighs. What on earth happened to it?
The mission carries the boy and Hwaeun far from the safety of the estate. Yes, father,
Hwaeun had promised, determined to prove herself on this journey. What do I do?
She frets, as the pair plunge deeper into the wild.
Maybe I can help, she offers, refusing to be a mere bystander.
Together they pick their way through tangled, dangerous terrain.
The boy's poisons clear a path where ordinary blades would surely fail.
He hums, following a trail only his trained senses can detect. For somewhere in this green labyrinth waits the prize he came for. There is a queen bee here, he explains, the very heart of the entire swarm.
Hwaeun stays close, equal parts nervous and fascinated. But the hive will not give up its treasure without a fierce fight.
The boy breathes, as a cloud of golden fury rises to meet them.
No, everyone, stay back.
Hwaeun cries, as the danger swells around them. The very air turns thick with venom and beating wings. The king bee itself stirs, ancient, golden, and deadly. The boy muses.
Is there really no other way to do this? He weighs every option, unwilling to risk Hwaeun's safety for a prize.
I'm sorry, she says.
It's okay, he answers gently. We'll do this together. The swarm erupts into furious, deafening motion all around them. This scent, he murmurs. Maybe that's the answer I've been missing.
An idea sparks behind his eyes, and he springs into action, drawing the bees exactly where he wants them, step by careful step.
Poison and instinct working together in perfect, ruthless harmony. Hwaeun watches, awed all over again by the boy's impossible mind. Ah, Soryeong,
she cries, as the plan careens toward its dangerous climax. He's already thinking 3 steps ahead, a way to wipe out those who dare come after his honeybees. Far from the Tang estate, dark figures gather around a low fire. We will make the Tang clan pay dearly, one of them swears into the flames. These are the Bloodhand, killers who covet the secret poison arts of the Central Plains. We'd better keep a close eye on that boy, their leader growls. We can't afford any mistakes. For word of the strange poison genius has reached even their ears. You're right, one agrees. The poisonous flower's natural scent could be the very key we need. And so the hunters close in, unaware of who they are truly dealing with. It's the golden-haired king bees. Someone cries, as the swarm comes alive. The boy has not been idle. The hive answers his call like a disciplined army. Screams tear through the night as the swarm finds its targets. How did you do that? Hwaeun gasps, watching the chaos unfold. A chemical signal, he explains, used by animals of the same species to communicate. You made a signal that makes them attack? She breathes. That's right, he grins. Fascinating, isn't it? He has turned the deadliest hive in the land into a weapon all his own. Hwaeun murmurs, suddenly alert. Someone is here. And the king bees swarm thick around their golden, dripping home. The boy stiffens, sensing a sudden shift in the air. Oh, don't tell me, he says, the realization dawning fast. The intruders, he warns, may have just made the king bees very, very angry. The hive seethes, a living storm of gold and venom. The golden-haired king bees are coming back. Someone shouts in raw panic. Soryeong, hurry up. Hwaeun cries. Ag! The boy yelps, scrambling clear. By the light of the moon, the hunters suddenly become the hunted. Wait, what are you even carrying? Hwaeun asks, as the boy hauls away his hard-won prize. The swarm roars past them into the dark, a tide of furious gold. And beneath the silver moon, the king bees claim the night as their own. The swarm does its terrible work, scattering the would-be hunters into the night. Arg! They scream. Help me! But there is no mercy to be found in a hive's fury. 3 days later, the wilds throw a brand new challenge at the boy. He and Hwaeun stand ready, braced for whatever comes next. Years of his strange knowledge guide his every move. And the danger passes, as it always seems to whenever he is near. Other bees will gather here soon, he warns, so we must head to the great tree in the training ground. Woa! Even Hwaeun can scarcely believe the sight that greets them. Are we almost there? Let's hurry. The boy urges, herding his impossible menagerie. Bye. His little companions chirp, trailing faithfully along behind him. Yes, grandfather, he says, reporting his progress to the clan's eldest. Through rain and shadow, the strange caravan presses on toward home. The little queen takes to the water with a happy splash. This little queen behaves differently from the rest, he notes, slowly making it her own. I've managed on just 4 hours of sleep a day, the patriarch laughs. But good job, my boy. Good job. Bit by bit, the boy bends even the king bees to his patient will. Then the boy notices something, and his expression sharpens. What is it? A flash of steel in the dark, a reminder that danger is never truly far. A single scout bee streaks off into the gloom. Why are you guys fussing over your hive? He asks the swarm, almost fondly. And they're working hard to gather honey, too, he says, pride creeping into his voice. Did you see that? He beams. This is exactly why I never gave up on you guys. The deadliest swarm in the land, tamed by a single peculiar boy. And the great king bee itself buzzes contentedly at his side. But in the shadows, an old enemy stirs, and the hard-won peace cannot last. What did you just, an unseen voice rasps, feed me? For the boy's poisons strike where no one ever expects. It all comes to a head in a sudden flash of venom and pain. The sensation that overtook my whole body, the boy recalls, was unlike anything I had ever felt. A voice gasps, as the world tilts and goes dark around him. Soryeong! Hwaeun cries, catching him as he falls. Soryeong, are you coming back to your senses? Someone asks, leaning over him. By the time we got there, Hwaeun explains, you had already collapsed, so we brought you here. He lies still, his mind still racing even as his body fails him. The whole clan gathers, anxious for their strange young genius. Pretty amazing, right? Hwaeun says softly, relief breaking across her face. It's just a novice technique, the boy admits, so you couldn't absorb the full power of the elixir. For this, at last, is the fruit of all his labor, the legendary king bee elixir. My daughter has grown so much, the patriarch beams, slipping into the old family joke. And the boy, ever flustered, has no idea how to respond. The two of them have come so far from that first stormy night.
Who told you about that, Hwaeun?
He asks, as yet another secret slips loose. He returns to his craft, refining the precious elixir with painstaking care. Every ingredient measured, every single risk accounted for.
My dear, are you feeling better now? An elder asks him gently.
Even the great queen bee, it seems, has decided to repay him for his kindness. So you're saying, an elder marvels, only the queen bee herself can produce more of this elixir? The clan celebrates a triumph no one else in all the world could have achieved. But the boy frowns.
What if what I ate isn't even the same substance at all?
It's not about the taste or the smell, he murmurs, chasing a detail only he would ever notice.
Then, the patriarch sighs, we must assume it can't be obtained, unless it's Saryeon, the one the golden-haired queen bee has favored.
It's impossible for anyone else. Because to win that elixir, the boy did the unthinkable. He kissed the golden-haired queen bee herself, and lived to tell the tale.